The world was in a state of shock as the news of a missile striking New York City spread like wildfire. The city was in chaos, with buildings collapsing and people running for their lives. The United States government immediately launched an investigation to find out who was responsible for the attack. It wasn't long before they discovered that the missile had been launched by Russia. In response to the attack, the government of the United States declared war on Russia. They knew they would need an army of soldiers to fight in this war, and so they issued a call to action to every man in the country who was more than 16 years old. The call was mandatory, and anyone who failed to obey would be imprisoned. The families of these men were torn apart as they were forced to say goodbye to their husbands, fathers, and sons. Children were left without their fathers, and mothers were left to raise their families on their own. The government provided little support for these families, as they were focused on winning the war. The war against Russia lasted for years, and it changed the world as we knew it forever. The soldiers who fought in the war experienced horrors that no one should ever have to endure. They saw their friends and brothers in arms fall beside them on the battlefield. They faced injury and death every day, and yet they continued to fight for their country. The world was forever changed by this war. The government of the United States emerged victorious, but at what cost? The families that were torn apart would never be the same, and the soldiers who returned from the war would never be the same either. They had seen and experienced things that no one should ever have to endure, and they would carry those memories with them for the rest of their lives. The war against Russia will always be remembered as a turning point in world history. It was a war that tested the strength and bravery of every man who fought in it. It was a war that changed the world forever.